Hello, my dears. So nice to see you. Oh, so very nice to see you. Welcome to my little cottage. There are so many dear old friends. Lucy, darling, how are your beautiful chrysanthemums?
Oh, wow, thank you for asking.
Oh, good. Griselda, you must tell the vicar how much I enjoyed his sermon on Sunday.
I'm sure he will be pleased.
Oh, wonderful. Dolly, I do hope the Colonel has recovered from his cough.
Yes.
Oh, good, for it's such a terrible thing to be stricken with a cough. Well, my dear friends, I'm sure all of you would like to say hello to me, but since there are so many of you, why don't we take care of it all together? I shall count to 3, and on the count of 3, you shall shout out all at once, well, hello, my dear. My, oh my, don't you look lovely today? Are you ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Well, hello, my dear. My, oh my, don't you look lovely today?
Well, my goodness, dears, thank you so much. Going to make an old lady blush. Well, down to business, shall we? As all of you know, just 6 months ago, on August the 7th, 1957, our dear little village of St. Mary Mead was woefully beset by murder. Yes. And such a horrible murder it was. Will humankind never change? I mean, here we are in these modern times, and people are just as cruel and savage as they ever were. Well, I am delighted to announce that at last the murder has been solved. And as is sometimes the case, your dear little friend, Miss Jane Marple, had some slight opportunity of assisting in the investigation. And having all the information now I did not have at the time, I am ready to tell the story. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Oh, good. Then do sit back and pour yourself a cup of tea, for I find nothing goes quite so well with murder as a nice cup of tea. So where shall we begin? Of course, it was late in the night, and scattered here and there throughout the village were all of our story's most important characters. Can you guess just which 2 of these people were meeting in secret that night?
The 2 women on the left.
The 2 ladies on the left. But my dears, can you guess where in our village they were meeting?
A tea shop.
A tea shop.
Oh, dear Beatrice, I love the teapot that you carry. This one here is especially lovely. Where's this one from?
It's from Devonshire. You know, see the little crest here? That means it's Devonshire, Lily.
Oh, I never knew. All those crests, and I never knew.
Well, I'm glad you're paying attention to detail. And I'm so very glad we're here today.
Yes, Beatrice.
I know you, well, we've been friends for so long. I have something to ask you that I'm not sure of your answer. I'm hoping you'll be amenable to it.
Please, come forward with it. What is it?
Well, Lily, you see, I've become pregnant. I know it's late in life, but
Oh, dear.
don't be
Oh,
too
my.
back at the tea shop. Just act like we're having tea.
Okay.
and well,
Pregnant. Oh, pregnant, you say?
yes. So I need to have you vouch that I was married 3 months ago to Lawrence. Will you do that? You know Lawrence. He's loved me for so long, and he's agreed, even though it's not his. And don't ask me whose it is.
Beatrice, you're asking too much. But of course I will lie for you. You're my dearest friend. I will lie and say that you were married to Lawrence 3 months ago.
Yes.
And that you're pregnant.
No!
Oh, leave that part out.
Yes!
Okay,
Okay,
leave that
say
part
it
out.
again, Lily, say it again.
You were married 3 months prior to
Lawrence?
Lawrence,
Yes.
and you are not pregnant.
No.
Okay then.
Thank you.
Very well. Beatrice, I do wonder how you get yourself into such a troublesome situation.
Well, I can't talk about that, and I won't, and I don't want you to ever ask.
Well, I shan't ever ask, but someday I do hope you can tell me. And
Maybe
yeah.
when we're very old and very, very weak.
Very well.
Oh, Mary, thank you so much for inviting me over here. You have done wonders with your drawing room here at Silverstone Manor.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it. Here, have some tea.
Thank you, madam. You know, you and I have been cordial friends now for so long, I almost feel I can tell you anything. And, well, whenever I need advice, Mary, I always turn to you.
As you should. You can tell me anything or ask me anything.
Well, I've good news, I suppose. I'm getting married.
Oh. Great. Maybe you could tell me who?
Yes, you know her, of course. I'm marrying Beatrice.
Beatrice. Oh. Isn't she a tad,
Ladies and gentlemen, can you guess what Beatrice's relation is to Mary?
Her mother. Sister.
Her mother? Beatrice is Mary's mother.
old for you, isn't she?
Yes, dear, I'm marrying your mother. If you're shocked about that, hold on to your hat. You see, Mary, I'll preface this by saying I'm not responsible, but your mother is pregnant. Yes.
No, she can't be. She's too old.
It's nice.
She doesn't have sex. She's my mother.
Darling, I have had sex with your mother.
I won't hear it.
Please, Mary. I've come to you for advice. Now that I think about it, you weren't the right person. My name is Lawrence.
Lawrence. I guess it's time I tell you something then.
You couldn't possibly top what I do.
Lawrence, all these years of us being dear, dear friends and confidants, I haven't told you that I'm madly in love with you. And I was hoping that today, inviting you over for tea, I could tell you about my true feelings.
Oh, Mary. What a heel I feel like.
You are a heel.
To be honest with you, I've been nurturing this friendship all of these years because I've been hot for your mom.
I had a gun, Lawrence. I feel that I would shoot
Now,
you.
Mary, please. You know deep in your heart that you and I were meant to be friends, and good friends too. Why, we had helped each other out of several scrapes in the past. We've come to depend upon each other, not like lovers, but like friends. What's so wrong with that?
What's so wrong is that now I will be calling you Daddy. And that's very wrong. I do not think of you as a daddy.
Well, I'm not trying to be your father. I'm trying to be your friend.
Well, I don't think a friend marries a friend's mother.
Not yet. But it's time to open your understanding, Mary, because this is happening. I love your mother, so much so that I'm willing to marry her without even knowing who the father is of her illegitimate baby. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, Mary.
This
Don't-
is insane!
Do you have any advice?
Don't marry my mother! Ever!
I'm afraid it's too late. I love her. I've always loved her ever since I was this high and she was this high. Mary, can't we still be friends? I really do have very few friends except you.
Oh, I wonder why. We can't be friends. Ever again.
Mary.
And as far as I'm concerned, as of today, I have no friend in you, and I'm an orphan.
Mary, I don't know what to say other than that I hope you'll reconsider. Your mother and I plan to fix up your room beautifully. I'm going.
Henry, you're home. Oh,
Yes, Felicia,
Henry.
my love.
Oh, I've missed you. I was expecting you.
Ah,
I made
yes,
us a cake.
it's beautiful, my love. And so refreshing after my hard day as the groundskeeper at the Hives estate.
Well, darling, you know, I was so excited that you were coming home that I wanted to make you this lovely chocolate cake. So I went over to Clarissa's house
Yes.
because I was running out of a few ingredients. And so I was looking for some eggs and some milk and some cocoa and some sugar and some cinnamon and perhaps a little cottage cheese to add on top of it, you see. But
Yes,
she wasn't
elaborate.
She wasn't there.
Okay.
So I went in the back door and I went looking for these items to make you this special cake, you see.
Yes.
Well, and I found this photo album in her bedroom.
I see.
Well, as you noticed, as I was going through each of the pictures.
Yes. Her birthday, Christmas,
Yes,
Boxing Day,
yes,
Arbor Day,
yes.
Flag
And
Day.
you.
Oh, you noticed.
Well, it was confusing at first, you see, because I was going through all of that, and then I saw the pictures of you with Clarissa, and then I kept looking, and I found a few more with you and Clarissa.
Felicia, I'm glad you've brought this to me. Do you know how you've always wanted to have a baby, but, well, the doctor said...
Yes, the doctor said that I didn't really want children, so I'm totally barren.
I have gone around town trying to impregnate the various ladies of St. Mary's. And, well, by Jove, I hit pay dirt, so to speak. As you know, I garden at the estate of Miss Beatrice Hives. And, well, I've done a bit of ploughing over there. But in her advanced age, I'm sure she'll let us adopt the child.
At this moment, our dear Felicia had a shocking response. What was it?
Happiness.
Joy!
Oh my God! This is fantastic!
Oh, my dear! I hope you respond this way.
Oh, darling, I didn't want to ruin my body.
Well, let's cut the cake!
I would get all saggy.
Of course.
This is wonderful.
And this nonsense with Clarissa, it never would have worked out. She's got brown eyes, and I know you always wanted one with blue.
Oh, of course I do. You see, I wasn't really upset. I was just curious. I didn't know you had gone to Hawaii with anybody. So when I saw that with his photo album and I saw it was Clarissa, I thought, well, that's odd, but it strangely makes sense. Oh, I hope she has twins. I hope she has quadruplets.
Yes, my dear, in roughly 6 short months, we shall have a bouncing baby, well, whatever it ends up being.
Oh, I love you so much.
And I love you, Felicia.
Vicar Matthews, thank you for allowing me to come into your home. Of course, my son. I have a matter of great importance to speak with you about. May I have a seat? Please. Help yourself to some tea. I've just made it fresh. Oh, that's all right for now. I'll get right to it. You see, blessed it too, with sacrament. It's holy tea. It'll cleanse you from the inside out. Also, there's a special root in there, so it'll really cleanse you. Inside out. Really? Well, perhaps I will have it later then. Father Matthews, I'm in love with a woman. That's good, but she's in love with another man. That's bad. And I'm at an impasse. I do not know what it is that I should do. Jealousy is a problem deep inside me. And I think maybe if you had a bit of the tea. All right. Andrew, I knew your father, and I knew his father. I was young then, and he was old. And they were both stand-up men, they were. You see, they loved their wives, and they didn't covet another man's wife. That's covetous. It's one of the big ones, the top 10, as it were. Yes, good boy. I think you should... Well, is this woman married?
No, she is not, but...
Oh, well, that's not so bad.
But she's in love with someone else, so how am I supposed to win her heart?
Well, I think that God would be all right if you just opened your heart to her and let her choose which of you she wants to spend her time with. If she's just in love, there's no sacrament made before God. There's no bond. Why, children fall in love all the time.
It is your sister, Mary. There, I've said it. My heart is for her. But I believe she has eyes only for Lawrence.
Lawrence?
Yes.
Yes, Lawrence.
When you mention his name, I hear disdain in your voice.
Well, I noticed he's been oft seen around Mamma's cottage.
Yes, yes.
And I don't like to talk about my sordid past in this reverential holy place, but needless to say that my mother's antics have... Why, if I weren't a Christian man, I swear I would do something terrible to her.
My friends, can you guess what in the vicar's past and Lawrence's past makes it such a sordid affair? What was this problem between them? Why did the vicar Matthews not like him?
Brothers.
What else? What might They had an affair. Oh, they had an affair.
Yeah, I'm going to turn the tables here, Andrew. Andy, I'm going to do a little confessing of my own. You see, back in a time before I put on this vicar's coat, I was a man of needs, worldly needs. And I ran around with Lawrence, I called him Larry then. I ran around with Larry like we were two brothers. We could not be separated. We are hip and hip. Some say we even look alike. And once, we met a French maid who was comely and very inviting. She made nice cheese. She invited us into her farmhouse. And we made the Eiffel Tower.
Well, then you are telling me that Lawrence is not quite the man that he makes himself out to be.
Yes, well, I repented and came to God. He kept down his worldly ways and now might be sleeping with my own mother.
Does Mary know this?
Well, it would be a doozy for you if she did. You'd certainly be able to slide on in there, and I'd welcome it. Yeah. Come here, new brother. Andrew. Yes. God bless. Now let's go plan how you can get My sister.
Oh, Beatrice, darling, how beautiful it is out here in London Park today. Come sit upon this bench and let me gaze upon your beautiful skin.
Oh, my darling, I believe it's the peach roses that are fragrant so well in the air this night.
I can't smell anything but you.
I love it when you speak poetry to me.
Darling, I can't believe all of the obstacles you and I have overcome in order to allow our love to flourish. I mean, here I am, willing to marry you in your condition without knowing who the father is, even though your daughter loves me and I once had a three-way with your son.
Now, darling, we promised we wouldn't ask about each other's past.
I know. It's just growing up friends with your son was very special to me. He was such a charming lad, and oh, the way he would talk about nuptial relationships. Why, he was always using euphemism. He called having good sex making cheese.
Well, he does seem to favor the French cheese.
All I'm trying to say, darling, is now that there's so much that we're willing to overlook, you know for sure I wouldn't cast any aspersions on you if you were to tell me who the father of that child is.
I can't do that. I'm doing this to protect the child, the father, and others. Please, you must believe me. This is for the good. I don't wish to have harm come to anyone. And I believe it might happen if the father's name were known.
Are you saying that this man is some sort of a cad?
No, I'm not. He's not a cad exactly. He's a bit of a rogue, but he brought to me moments of feeling like a schoolgirl again. And I want to protect this child just as I've protected my other children.
But I can bring that feeling to you. After all, when you met me, I was a schoolboy.
It's true. I loved it when you put my pigtails in the inkwell.
Yes, I don't know why you were in class that day, since you were 37, but that's what I loved about you, your whimsy. Your whimsy. I tell you, if there's anything lying ahead for you that makes whoever gave you that child putting you in some type of danger, whether physical or moral, or any type of danger at all, you know that I'll be here to protect you, darling.
I can't ask you to do that. Lawrence, you're doing everything for me now. You're marrying me. This withered old body with a baby. You're marrying us. You're going to take care of us.
Yes, I will. I will always take care of you, no matter what it takes. I tell you, Beatrice, if anybody were to visit any harm upon you at all, why, I don't know what I'd do. Something horrible, I'm sure.
Something horrible, I'm sure. Oh, my dear friends. They were having a wonderful moment together, but unfortunately, shortly after those words were spoken, someone in our story was found to be dead. But who do you think it was? My dear friends, who was murdered?
The vicar. The vicar.
Mary? And that poor woman's body was discovered like this.
Oh, my sister.
Oh, Vicar, I am so saddened to hear of your your loss. Please,
Thank
sit.
you, Lily.
I've made some tea for you.
Oh, please. It's not the cleansing kind, is it?
No. This is the soothing kind. Oh. My dear, are you able to tell me about it?
Yes, let me. Just one sip. Oh, good British tea. Lily, I can't believe she's gone. I was coming home after my Sunday night sermon. The whole village was there, as they usually are. Lovely people. I was walking alone, as I like to do underneath the starlight, so I could see God's glory in all of the stars arrayed before me. And as I came around the bend on the lane that leads back to my cul-de-sac, there, on the ground, was splayed the body of my sister. She had been murdered. There was a knife thrust in her throat and a pool of blood surrounding her. I gaped and started sobbing, retching almost, and immediately ran and found the constable. That was all I could do to keep myself together on that run. I just can't believe she's gone. I don't know what I'll do.
I'm so sorry. Perhaps I could be of some comfort. You know, the Anglican Church is recently going to allow the vicars to marry.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Perhaps I could help you through this.
some of my brethren will really enjoy that. I spent a lot of time in France sampling cheese. The salad days, as it were.
Oh,
Oh,
I know how much you like the camembert.
I do. Nice, ripe, double cream brie.
I love the way you speak about cheese.
Some salt.
Oh. Oh,
Thinking about those things that can keep my mind off of these dark times.
you must.
Can you imagine St. Mary Mead, our nice little town? Murder my own sister, my flesh and blood.
And at that moment, our Detective Inspector Craddock arrived on the case.
Andrew, please come into my office. Right here, my boy.
Yes, Inspector. I'm destroyed, Inspector. I didn't even get a chance to tell her that I was in love with her. I'm a coward.
I see, Andrew. We were all very distraught to find that our dear Mary had left this world. No less than myself. Andrew, I want to be frank with you. The Chief Inspector is breathing down my neck. This is the 5th murder this year, and I'm afraid that my job is on the line. Now, you said that you have a belief in who is behind this murder. I'd like to hear that very much, Andrew.
Well, I believe her own mother killed her.
Her own mother. Beatrice Hives of the Hives Estate. That's quite funny, Andrew. I don't believe.
Well, you see, I frequent the public library every Tuesday afternoon. And when I was there, I saw Miss Beatrice there. And of course, I want to tell her how much I adore and how much I loved her beautiful daughter, Mary. But, of course, I never had a chance. And I walked behind her and I noticed that she was reading a book regarding how to bury a dead body. Now, perhaps it could have been a coincidence. Or it could have been perhaps a book, How to Bury a Dead Body, which is actually a plant in the garden. But enough of that.
But Andrew, you do realize the body was found not buried, it was above the ground.
Yes.
So That was a coincidence, but what I really find interesting is that you said that you saw Beatrice on the scene of the crime.
Yes, I did.
Please, enthrall me.
Well, I brought some flowers for the site, but before, there was a little scarf thing. I mean, I saw Beatrice come run. She grabbed the scarf and ran away. That's all I saw, quickly.
Scarf, Andrew?
Yes.
I brought you into my office. I told you how important this case is to me. Certainly you have more, Andrew. What was Beatrice doing there?
She was there to meet me. I had arranged plans to meet her there. With Mary. I wanted to confess it to both of them. But I cowered away. I went to the spot, but I did not have enough courage to actually go through with it. There, I've said it.
Beatrice, do console yourself, darling. Come here. I've had them bring tea out into the garden for you.
I couldn't touch it at all.
I know, love, I know. Let me touch it for you.
You would do anything for me, wouldn't you?
Yes, of course I would, especially now that your own daughter was viciously taken from you, someone who I loved almost as much as you. In a friendship kind of way, darling.
Well, darling, I had this plan to keep the baby secret, to make our marriage happen before anyone would know. I mean, I even had Lily in on the plan. And I don't know if it's related to Mary or not. Henry.
Oh, hello there, Beatrice. Lawrence.
Hello.
I was just gardening.
Oh, Henry.
I'm so terribly sorry to hear about your daughter, Mary.
Thank you, Henry.
Oh, Bee. And
Do you two know each other then?
of course, I've been the groundskeeper here at the Harrison's estate for years.
I mean, yes, of course we do.
Is it appropriate for you to touch my soon-to-be wife like that, sir?
Well, he knows that I just need to lean on a strong man at this time.
Well, what the hell am I?
Oh, sorry. I've completely lost my mind.
Have you?
In grief.
I'd be remiss if I didn't congratulate you on your engagement.
Yes.
Beatrice, I see that look in your eyes when you look at him.
There is no look in my eyes.
Oh yes, look at him. There's that look! Beatrice,
But he was here. He's been here at the home so often.
how often and how long ago?
Well,
Beatrice,
every day, right?
Are you the father of that child, sir?
don't upset me. I wouldn't want to use my hoe.
Seems like you already
Beatrice, he doesn't know. I must confess, I'm rather alarmed to hear that you're getting engaged so quickly after I hear of our child that is planned to come into this world. I had imagined that my wife and I might adopt the child and raise it as our own.
That it's true, you are the father of this child.
That is true, I am the father of this child.
With a gardener.
Henry, you're ruining everything! Don't you understand? I was trying to protect the child.
What?
Now you want to take it off and give it to your wife. And you want to be mad at me for...
Now hold on 1 minute, Beatrice. What is that supposed to mean? My wife is a wonderful woman and would make a lovely mother to that child. Maybe she would be able to watch after her child better than you were able to watch after yours. Officer Cunningham, in my office right now. Thank you for giving me a hand.
I only have one.
Yes, quite right. Well then, that interview was a complete bust. And
Oh,
I'm afraid if I don't solve this case, then you'll have my job soon enough.
oh, I doubt that, but I do have something to tell you.
Cunningham, what is it?
Well, I examined the knife that caused the murder.
Yes, very good.
Yes. There were little bits of black feather on the blade, almost as if it came from a woman's hat or a feather or something. Or maybe a man's unusual feathered sock.
That's quite interesting.
Yes, I thought you'd want to know right away.
We'll have to file that away in evidence, but for right now, what I need to focus on is solving this case, and I'm afraid, well, she said that she would be retiring, and I really didn't want to call on her, but after 5 unsolved murders this year...
You're talking about Miss Jane Marple?
The very same.
Your godmother.
Yes.
Oh, good idea.
I hate to drag her into this, but Cunningham, would you make the call?
Oh, I'd be happy to. You know, your godmother and I go way back.
I understand that you knew each other when you had not 1 but 2 arms.
Yes, that long ago. In fact, she was slightly at fault for my loss of the arm. May I use your phone?
Yes, that's fine.
Oh, Vicar. I must say, after all these years, it still seems odd to call you Vicar. Oh, Matthew. I'm so sorry. Okay. You know, in spite of the oddity of my loving and betrothing myself to your mother, I cared very greatly for Mary, and her death affects me as much as it does you.
I'd say that's not true, only we were inseparable, us 3. The 3 Musketeers.
Yes.
I was D'Artagnan. He was the 4th, but that's no matter.
It's all right, because I took Aramis and Plateau. You hate me, don't you?
I don't hate anyone. I'm a man of God. I love everyone. But I'm disappointed in you, Lawrence. Sorely disappointed.
Are you?
We spent our youth adventuring, carousing through the French countryside, going to dairy after dairy after dairy.
Damn, that was good cheese.
And now you expect me to look on you with favor as you court my own mother? This can't be.
Does the heart have eyes, or does it simply love? How do I know why I loved her? But I did. And still do, in spite of everything.
Of course.
You know she's pregnant, don't you?
What?
I've got to start introducing that better.
My mother's so old.
She's pregnant, and that Gardiner fellow is the father.
Henry?
Yes.
Oh, he's such a lovely man. Brings over a slice of his wife's cake every Saturday. We have tea and read scriptures.
Don't you understand what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, my mind is empty and wandering. It's a wilderness of grief in here.
Mary was upset at the idea of someone marrying her mother. Mostly me, to be sure, but I have a theory. I'm afraid she might have found out, you see, that the gardener, Harry, was the father of the child. Henry. I hate him so much I refuse to say his name.
I understand. It's the grief, my man, the grief.
But when I told her what was going on, I saw such anger in her eyes. If she found out that gardener fellow, Henry, was the father, I imagine she might have caused quite a ruckus and threatened to disrupt their union somehow and bring his sin to light, meaning the only way that he could have kept his reputation intact was to kill her.
To silence her own voice.
Yes.
And certainly he has the brawn to do it. That man, I've seen him throw a bale of hay right up into the hayloft. Just with his muscles. Some gumption.
Felicia, I'm home! Felicia, where are you?
Henry!
Oh, Felicia, I am seething!
What?
Oh, I've just come from work where Beatrice told me she intends to keep our child. I am raging.
Oh, wait. Sit, please sit. I'm pretty sure I need to tell you something.
What is it, Felicia?
Well, you see, I wanted to go and thank her for carrying your child because I thought that was the polite thing to do. But
Of course, it's common courtesy.
Well, she wasn't there, you see, but I went into the back door because I was going to leave her alone. And when I went into the kitchen, and I noticed that she had these lovely knife set, I was looking, actually I went pulling them all out. I touched a machete and a cleaver.
Felicia, that reminds me, have you fed your pet crow yet today? You have to feed this thing 3 times a day. Oh, it's molting.
Henry! Do listen to me.
Yes, you touched a knife.
I touched all of them. Don't you see? Don't you see, Henry? Yes! God, you're so dense.
Don't start, Felicia. Well,
I touched them all. Every last one of them. My favorite was the machete. Oh, Henry, don't look at me like
Felicia.
that. What?
Now, even if I am somehow able to secure that child for us, well, with you a suspect in a murder investigation, how are we to ever end up with that?
Well, what are we to do then? Come think of something.
I don't know, but I tell you now, as God is my witness, I am willing to do anything, no matter how dark, no matter how evil, to get that child and bring it home.
I want
I
that
am
baby.
willing to do anything, no matter how dark, to bring that child home. What a confession, my friends. And after he spoke those fateful words, someone in our story was found to be dead. But who do you think it was? My friends, who was murdered?
Lawrence.
Lawrence. And my dear friends, the body was discovered like this. Oh, Detective Inspector Craddock.
Jane,
Oh, in all my years of coming upon murder, I've never actually seen it.
you witnessed
was
it.
horrible. I was walking over to see Beatrice.
Please, in the light, I wish to hear.
Yes. I was walking over to see Beatrice. We were going to have tea. She was going to tell me her secret of how she actually had a child at such a late stage in her life. For you see, well, never mind. I was walking behind the house through the garden. I came upon Henry. He was hoeing, and I said hello, and I passed through the lane, and I came up the back stairs into the kitchen, and that's where she was, splayed. He was splayed out. Lawrence, that poor young man. I remember him when he was a child, and there was all this nasty gossip about him being with her, but I didn't believe it until then.
What did the body look like, Jane?
Bloated.
Oh.
It had clearly been stuffed in some body of water, but it was brought back to the kitchen. It was blue and bloated. Don't you see? All these years I've been solving murders, but I'd never really actually come upon it myself. It's quite shocking.
Jane, it's a terrible thing. I've seen countless murders in my years, and I wouldn't wish it upon anyone to see that.
Oh, we must solve this case. It's horrid. This town. It is just bleeding evil. Constable Knickerbocker.
Yes, Miss Marple. So nice to see you, Miss Marple. So nice to see you. Sorry, but I just thought I'd give you the results of the test you asked me to run, Sir Inspector, sir. And it turns out that you were correct. It is pond water in which the body was submerged. Pond water. Pond water. Are you hearing me, sir?
I do hear you, Knickerbocker. Thank you very much.
Yes, well,
I was at the moment speaking to Miss Jane Marple when you so rudely interrupted us.
I understand, sir. And I do just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to assist you on the case. It's always been one of my goals to work a case with you, sir. The revered Inspector Craddock.
Thank you very much.
Yes, did I mention it was pond?
You mentioned that, thank you. You may leave us.
Detective Inspector.
Jane, I can't stand that man. Do you see him? He wants my job.
He's tiresome, I know, but he's not as smart as you. He's quite dull, if you know what I mean. Pond water. He repeated 5,000 times.
It might be important, yes.
It is important. I tell you what. Lily has a pond in her yard.
Well, yes, and putting all that together, Lily knows Lawrence.
Yes?
I'm sorry, Jane, it's just... Besides the case, I really need to solve this. You don't see how all my subordinates are...
Gunning for your job.
Gunning for my job. I have 5 dead in this town, and all I have to go off of is pond water. There's 20 ponds in St. Mary Mead. It's the only body of water, so obviously it was a pond. It wasn't the ocean. The ocean's 10 kilometers that way.
Detective Inspector, you do not fret. We worked on the prior murders together, and I tell you what, for this one, I will not take credit. You'll get it yourself. You keep your job.
Thank you so much, Jane. That means so much to me.
Come, walk me home.
Lily, I don't feel like going for a canoe on your stupid pond. Oh my gosh, you carry this thing? What are you doing? Come on.
I thought we would stop and have tea.
Oh, I much prefer that to the pond.
Well, then come sit. You know, as much as I love my pond, sometimes I find that when we go out on the canoe, we actually disturb my ducklings.
Oh dear.
Especially the little black ones. They are so cute. And I'd much rather sit here, have tea, and talk about the pond.
I know. Those little black ones are always getting the feathers all over the shore, and then when I get home, I have them on my feet.
Oh, funny that you should mention that. I have learned a new craft. Oh, I shall show you. Here, I brought my basket. This, it's feather knitting. Look, a pair of men's feather socks.
Oh, I may be allergic.
Just in that moment, my friends, Beatrice made a shocking admission. Can you guess what it was? Anything. What's that?
Feather on her shoe.
She made a shocking admission, which was feather on her shoe. And what kind of emotion did that elicit in Miss Lily?
Fear.
Fear? Fear.
Don't tell me you're
I have feathers on my shoe now.
Oh dear.
Get them off. Get them off.
Oh dear. Beatrice, no, please, no, please, no, please.
What's the matter with you? You act like you're going to go nuts.
Go ahead, take them. Take the socks. They're yours. Don't threaten me with your shoe. You can have the socks. Is that all you want?
Beatrice, if you want to know, I am angry with you. Beatrice. You know I'm so angry. I'm calling you Beatrice.
Get hold of yourself.
Threatened to kill the baby.
Dear.
And I was hoping you would take me out on that stupid canoe, so I might lose this baby. This baby's caused too much pain.
Oh, Beatrice, no! I've already contacted the Inquirer about you. You will be the oldest mother giving birth. You cannot do that.
You cannot do that. You're the eldest mother giving birth. You cannot do that. My friends, what do you think? Another murder?
Yes. Yes.
Not yet. Oh, my dear friends, look at the time. Why don't we all take a nice little break? Oh, my friends, did you enjoy your break?
Yes.
Lovely. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, Lily and Beatrice were at that moment arguing over the exposition of Beatrice's pregnancy, at which point Lily said,
You can't do that. I've already contacted the Inquirer.
well, immediately after that.
Lily,
Beatrice,
why is it you always have to be the star? Why do you have to make it about you? You with the big splashy story, making fun of me again, just like when we were in grade school, when you had to be the prom queen. You always had to be the May queen. You always had to be the center of attention and... Don't you see, I don't even have a daughter anymore. This child, I don't want it, but without Mary, I'll never have a grandchild.
Beatrice, Louise, Honeybell, Hive. You think that I want to be the center of attention? Please. You're the one that got married and had children. I've never had children. Just this once. Let yourself be a star. Make yourself the most well-known celebrity across the entire United Kingdom.
You don't understand, Lily. This child doesn't want to be a sideshow at a circus. The child of a withered old mother? No! I don't want to be the center of attention. I just want to have a family. I can't have Mary and, well, my son's a vicar. He can't have children. What am I going to do? Next thing I know, you'll be trying to entice him into bed.
How dare you? Perhaps you've seen something that you shouldn't have. Well, let me tell you something. I wish to have a child myself one day. You must have this child. Through you, I can live vicariously, you see.
No! Not you or Felicia! Not if I have anything to say with it! Our friendship is over!
Beatrice!
No!
Felicia! Thank you for inviting me into your lovely home.
Well, you just wanted to talk to me, but...
Is that a crow?
Yes.
Oh, wait. Hello. Oh, ow.
Oh, don't mind him. He's just a silly crow. But why are you here?
Felicia, I had a few questions that I would like to ask you about the murder of Mary Hives.
It was terrible, wasn't it?
It certainly was. Now, do you recall where you were the night that her body was found outdoors?
Oh, yes, I'm pretty sure I do recall. You see, I was on my way over to one of the neighbors' homes. I believe it was Beatrice. I wanted to make my Henry a chicken. And so I went over there to get a roast chicken and potatoes and perhaps some biscuits. But she wasn't there, you see. But then I heard something very odd. I heard a scream or something. It was probably Mary. It sounded like her. It sounded like her scream. I hear her scream sometimes. It sounded like that.
Why do you hear her scream?
Well, when she sees me going over to people's homes when they're not there and I borrow some of their food.
I see. You were doing just that. But her scream was probably a cry for help.
Well, it was dreadful, actually. actually, now that you say that, she was calling help. I heard her say help, but I didn't. I don't know. I was hungry. I wanted to feed him.
My friends, Felicia in that moment had an eruption of a certain emotion. Can you guess what it was?
Laughter.
Fear.
Anger. Confusion.
Indigestion.
One might feel a range of emotions over indigestion. I had guilt.
What?
So a woman was crying for help being murdered, and you didn't assist her because you were hungry.
Oh, now that you put it that way, I feel terrible. I should have done something, but I was so determined to go see Beatrice that I didn't care about Mary. I admit it. Admit it. See?
Felicia,
Well, let me just tell you something.
please do.
Well, I've wanted to have a baby all my life. I never told Henry that I really want my own children, but I've been trying. I used to try in high school. But then I met Henry and I thought, oh, he's so beautiful. I want to have his baby. So I offered to have his baby, and we try every day, 3 times a day. And we've been trying for 10 years. But I can't have children, you see, and I want them so badly. I've gone into people's homes when they're not there after they have a baby and they're sleeping, and I go in their back door, and I go up to their nursery and I see their beautiful baby. And I love those babies, and I touch them and I pick them up, and I wish they were mine, but I can't have children. And I tell Henry, no, I want other people to have our babies because I really don't want to get fat and have saggy boobs. But honestly, I really do want a baby with Henry.
All right, Felicia, while I am investigating this murder, I will put to the back of my mind that you break into people's homes and touch their babies. We will have to talk about this at another time, but I do have to say that your recent obsession with hunger,
Well, Henry told me that if he gets fed, he'll try to have a baby with me because when he's satisfied, and maybe we could have a baby. And so I want to feed him because I really want his baby. I really do.
Felicia, I have to tell you something. Something that we have been ignoring. Recently, my department has gained access to the fingerprint database of England, and your fingerprints were found on the murder weapon. 2 things. One, that's highly suspicious, and second, our fingerprinting database is also able to detect certain aspects of someone's DNA, and your fingerprint came back pregnant.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that you might have a baby in prison unless you tell me why your fingerprints were on the murder weapon.
Wait, all I heard was that perhaps I'm pregnant. My fingerprints are on the murder. Well, because I wanted to touch all the knives, and I touched all the knives in Beatrice's home because I wanted to feed Henry a goddamn chicken. And so I was gonna chop it up myself because that's the kind of wife I am.
So you're saying the knife belonged to Beatrice
It
Hyde?
belonged to Beatrice. The machete, the cleaver, that stupid knife with that stupid feather on it. Oh.
You know about the feather?
Yes.
That was another question I had. For you see, you have a crow right here in your living room, right in my face, really. It was as if you put it there as a clue for me to discover.
Oh, that crow is so going to be Henry's dinner tonight. Okay. So, I just play with knives. That's it, plain and simple, I play with knives. That's why my fingerprint's on databases. I go into people's homes, I touch their knives. It's what I do, it's what I do. It makes me fertile.
Felicia, you realize that you are now accusing the woman who I hear is carrying one of your children of murder.
I hate her. That's what I do, I hate Beatrice. I admit it, I hate her. She's got Henry's baby, and that should be my baby. My baby. My baby. My Henry.
Apparently you have been planted with the gardener's seed as well.
It's a God-given miracle.
Miss Marple. Whew, hot day out in the garden, isn't it?
How dare Henry?
Oh, Miss Marple. Miss Marple.
Yes?
You're looking spry. You think you might still be able to... well, never mind.
Miracles apparently do happen.
Indeed. The marigolds are coming in nicely this year. Literally and figuratively, but... well, foul business going on in St. Mary's Mead.
Yes. Do you happen to know anything about it? You seem to me like you might have the inside scoop. I know how every time there is anything happening in this town, you seem to know something about it.
Well, you hear things as a gardener. Let me tell you what I know while I water these big
But
petunias.
there's mud all over your shirt. You should take
yes,
that
of
off
course.
as well.
It is quite hot.
Yes.
I think the Vicar Matthew has something to do with these murders.
No.
Yes. It's no secret that his church is failing. He's in dire needs of funds. Why, his sermons these past few weeks have been all about the importance of tithing. Tithe. And, well, it stands to reason that he will be the benefactor of his mother's estate when she goes. But he would have to share that, of course, with, well, his sister and, well, if his mother were to marry...
Lawrence.
Yes.
Oh, you make a compelling case.
And it's just, well, I heard that Lawrence had swamp water in his lungs.
Pond.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yes.
Sorry, I have a bit of a phobia of water myself. I never learned to swim.
What are you doing?
I'm watering the petunias, but as I say, I'm dreadfully terrified of water. It's just, well, it's well known that Matthew did some dairy farming in Paris in his younger days and all across the French countryside. Well, he swam across the French Channel to get there. The man is an avid swimmer.
But why? My dear, I understand you're laying out quite a compelling case. It all makes logical sense. But I see something else.
Well, I'm just a simple gardener. I don't...
It is quite hot, yes.
Let me just get under these bushes here. What were you saying? I'm sure I don't know anything else about it. I've no evidence to this effect. These are just the simple ruminations of, well, a plain old gardener.
Henry,
Yes?
I'm disappointed in you.
Why?
For I know that you also have a past of eating cheese with Matthew.
Idle rumors. Now, I may a time or two have dressed as a French farm girl. But those days are behind me now. I want nothing more than to start a family with my beloved Felicia.
My dear, let's put this back on. It's quite distracting. My dear, thank you very much for this bit of information.
Of course, Miss Marple.
I shall do a bit of my digging?
Please do, I'm quite worried. You see, my child rests in the belly of Beatrice, and, well, he or she would also be an heir to the hive's fortune.
Yes.
I'm worried that if Matthew has his eyes set on the prize of this estate, well, he may stop at nothing.
Time is of the essence, I understand. We wouldn't want her to die or for the child to die either. All right, my dear, I will look into this further. Take this, please.
Good day. Lily, please come into my home.
Yes, Andrew.
Lily, please have a seat. I wish to confess something to you now.
Oh.
You see, my heart, well, Mary was my number one.
Yes, I know.
Yes, I have a list of here. As you know, she is no longer with us.
Yes.
So now, I have to go down with us. You're my number two.
Oh, Andrew!
Yes. I love you, Lily. I love you, and I wish to spend the rest of my life with you, if you would be so kind as to oblige me.
Oh, Andrew, I must tell you something. You see, well, you are very attractive, and I'm sure a very, how do they say, virile young man. My heart is with the vicar.
The vicar?
Yes. I petitioned the Parliament strongly for 3 years to ask the Anglican Church to allow vicars to marry. And they finally said yes. Oh.
So I've lost another.
Oh dear. Let me see your list.
Are you sure? Because it beats for you every day, every moment now that I have no one else to think about. Well, number two, rather, that is. I want you to be my number one. But the
Andrew, you know, the heart must allow itself to grow.
No! No!
Oh, Andrew.
I love you. And I will not have another man near you anymore. I will not lose another love of mine.
I will not lose another love of mine. My friends, what do you think happened?
Murder.
Yes, murder. Shortly after he spoke those words, another person in our story was found to be dead. But who do you think it was?
Gardener.
My death was murdered. The
Henry. Oh.
Yes, God took St. Mary Mead's vicar from us, and the poor soul's body was discovered like this.
Felicia! Felicia! Lily, you must come in. I no longer have a best friend, so I rely upon you now.
I'll be your best friend.
And let me just say this. I know that you've been coming in my back door. It's okay. My darling Lily, something terrible has happened.
Tell me.
Well, you see, I left Andrew's house, and after quite a horrible experience, which I shall tell you about later, I went directly to the vicar's house. Directly to the vicar's house. I walked down the lane, and I thought I heard something splashing.
Oh, that's odd.
How strange indeed. I got closer to the vicarage, and I saw that it was not splashing at all. It was water dripping from a faucet. I thought, how wasteful. I went to turn it off, and there, on the floor, was my dear Matthew. Oh dear. There he was.
Was he calling for help? Because I got in trouble for that.
No, he was gone. He was gone.
What do you mean?
He was dead.
The vicar is dead?
The vicar is dead.
No.
He lay on his kitchen floor, water dripping until I turned it off.
Oh dear, If I wasn't British, I'd come over and hug you. Oh, that sounds terrible.
Oh, I'm so sad. I know that it was not a natural death.
Oh dear, it is you.
No, dear, thank you.
This is awful.
You see, nobody would die naturally this way. You see, oh dear.
Nobody dies naturally in this town.
Oh, this is horrible. My dear Matthew, he was laying there, and in his mouth,
Spit it out, dear. What was in his mouth?
a bundle of black feathers.
No!
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, what does it
Did it look like a crow's feathers?
My dear, I did not look as closely as I should have. I was overcome with deep sadness.
Oh
Shock.
dear.
Oh, my dear. Oh, Lily, Miss Marple. Yes, I'm so sorry to hear the latest news. Murder strikes this town yet again. Oh. Oh, again, and it has struck in. Oh, dear Vicar. Oh, Lily, I am so sorry, as I know. Well, you never admitted it, but everyone knew that you wanted him to become your husband. Yes. And, oh, Felicia, do you mind? I left my knitting out at my house. Would you go grab it for me, please? Thank you so much. Yes. She's a lovely lady. My dear, I said that so that we could be left alone. Oh, Miss Marple, I would offer you tea, but you see, I'm weakened with sadness and grief. Oh, come now. Oh, all right then. Please drop the act. What are you saying? You never really wanted Matthew. How dare you say such a thing, Marple? You don't know what's inside this heart. I know that heart is black. Oh, and do you think that your heart is so pure? Of course not, darling. Evil resides in everyone. It's just a matter of what wins out, good or evil. I know that you wanted everything from Beatrice's family. That's really why you wanted to marry Matthew, so that you could get him and you could get the money. And eventually you would be able to push everyone else out. I only wanted to help them, you see. I thought that, especially with this new child coming along, that they could enhance the dowry of the bride-to-be, you see. All right, stop it. Okay, then. You're correct. Jealous. I'm very jealous. Nobody ever wanted me. They always wanted Beatrice. You know, years ago, our fathers sent us to boarding school together in Zurich. Well, we became fast friends, Beatrice and I. We did jigsaw puzzling, you see. And so strange it was that we would get to the very end of the puzzle and there would always be one piece missing. And I know that it was Beatrice. All of those years ago, always having the last thing to say, always having the boy, always getting everything that she wanted. So yes, jealous I am. Yes, you are jealous. But are you jealous enough to murder? Miss Marple, I'm not sure. That's why I wanted to come over and ask you. Tell me, Lily, did you murder? No. You really think that I could do such a thing? I raise small ducklings in my pond. I nourish them from the egg. I have a hatchery and a roost. Do you really think I could do such a thing? I think many people are capable of evil things when they carry evil in their heart. But I am not sure. Oh, you must not consider me as one of your suspects. Please. I shall leave you now.
It's all right, Henry. Don't worry. I've secured the interrogation room and made everyone think that I arrested you for real. Come in. We can talk privately here.
Of course, Officer Knickerbocker, whatever you need.
You could drop the formalities and call me Morris.
Ah, yes, Morris.
Look, Henry, you know I'm fond of you, and you know I'm very happy to cover for you so you can run that black market marigold ring.
Well, I appreciate you looking the other way for a small fee. After all, I'll have a new mouth to feed soon.
Yes, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. You see, I certainly don't mind getting an extra cup or two in order to help a friend run a good, solid business. The war's been over for some time. I don't know why marigolds can't be sold out on the open anymore. But murder is a completely different game, Henry.
Morris, what are you suggesting?
What I'm suggesting is that if you are the one who's responsible for these heinous murders, and in the investigation it comes out that you and I have what some might call an illicit and illegal relationship, then I could go down with you, and that's something I'm not willing to do, no matter how much I like you.
Well, there it is then. Just like in the war, you're always looking to climb the ladder.
Oh, do you think that fool Craddock will remain in his position for long? Why, he hasn't solved a case on his own for as long as I know him. And I'm ready. I'm ready to take over his spot, sure enough. And if you think I'm going to let this debacle get in my way, you've got another thing coming.
Well, I'm sure that should a scandal make its way to the Inquirer that there is a crooked cop working on these cases, that would certainly hurt your opportunities for career advancement.
You couldn't bring me down without bringing down yourself, Henry. Now let's look at the facts. You have impregnated Beatrice Hives. Beatrice Hives, while not a particularly wealthy woman, has a bit of a savings, far more than a gardener could have amassed in his life.
And an estate.
However, there were 2 children in line to inherit that before your baby would have inherited it. Mary, gone. Matthew, gone. And the man who would have married her in your place, gone. Leaving you to marry Beatrice and your baby to inherit the fortune.
Morris! I assure you my relationship with Beatrice was purely sexual. She was nothing but a vessel for my seed.
Beatrice! Please!
Yes. I know you have to ask these questions.
Yes, I do. Do you have any tea?
I do.
Please. Oh, jeez. I'm sorry, I should be interviewing you, but I've just received terrible news that... Oh, I don't want to trouble you, but my job is on the line right now, and...
But we need you in your job. St. Mary Mead is just a hotbed of murder. How can we not lose our inspector?
Quite right, Beatrice. Now I have a few questions for you. You seem rather chipper, despite what you just said, when both of your children and your fiancé are dead. I find that rather odd.
No. I'm devastated. Just like I feel devastated by the glint in your eyes, Inspector.
Oh my God. I think that's just the tears.
No.
Yeah, Beatrice, I'll sit here if you don't mind.
Oh, no, please. I'm much aggrieved. I feel faint. Can you hold my hand?
I'm afraid that's against protocol. Beatrice!
Protocol? When a woman has lost her daughter. married.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, you have such soft skin.
Oh,
Use moisturizer.
why, yes, would you like to smell it? It's lily of the valley, but that's all right.
Oh,
I'm going to change it.
that's quite nice. It smells like my grandmother's perfume.
Oh, and did you love your grandmother?
We were actually quite close, yes. Now, Beatrice, I have questions to ask you about this murder, so I'm not canned.
Of course. Anything for you, Inspector.
3 of your family members are dead, and the knives used to commit the murder was taken from your kitchen.
With Felicia's fingerprints on them.
Beatrice,
Yes.
I sense that you are trying to seduce me. And quite frankly, I'm very vulnerable at this moment. I need you to be honest with me. What was your attraction to Lawrence? Did you love him?
Honesty is always the best policy, I find. Of course I'm not trying to seduce you, my darling. I'm just concerned that you would lose your job at a time of such great need. But my relationship with Lawrence was one of friendship and loyalty. Something I'm known for. Loyalty.
I'm sorry. Beatrice, I feel like this meeting should not occur between just the 2 of us. Would you mind if I called one of my officers in here to stand as a barrier between us? Perhaps relay information. Wigglesby!
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Right here.
Yes, sir. Is this one of those older seductress situations?
I beg your pardon.
Yep. I can tell by the glint in your eye, sir. It's a code 321B.
Wigglesby, will you please ask Beatrice if she's the murderer?
Did you murder anyone?
Are you saying that you believe I would murder my daughter, my son, and my intended?
Well, she didn't really answer forthrightly. She just made a bunch of excuses.
I'm saying, on what possible grounds could you have for asking me such a question?
Just a yes or no question, ma'am. Here you are, disassembling it. Is it? Did you?
I can't believe you're doing this to me.
Neither yes nor no, sir. I brought that down.
I'm sorry, Wigglesby, this isn't working.
My children, why would you do this to me?
I'm very sorry. Here. I'm so sorry, Beatrice. I'm doing my best to solve this murder. I thought you were a suspect, but
How could you
I don't know.
look into my eyes and see? How could I possibly be anything but love?
Andrew!
Miss Marple, yes.
Andrew! Thank you so much for meeting me at the seafood cafe.
Yes, I have information. I know that you have been on the case, yes?
I have been on the case. You have been a trusted, well, let's call you almost like a soldier. You've been a trusted soldier of mine for a long time. What do you have?
Well, I have recently come across the news of the vicar's death. And this news broke my heart, for he was a man with whom I had always confided in. So to pay homage to that, I went over to the church. But before, I must tell you, but before his death, I saw the vicar speaking with Beatrice, and they were having an argument. I could not hear what they were saying, but she was pointing at her belly, and he was screaming at her, forbidding her of something. And then she stormed off, and now he's found dead. I suspect that she is the one who had done it.
Beatrice.
Yes.
Kill her own child. My dear, come out with it now. Why are you so suspicious suspicious of Beatrice. There's something more there.
Well, are you accusing me of something, Miss Marple?
I'm not accusing you of... Let's start all over again. You were really in love with Beatrice.
Yes, that's right. She was my number one. When I confessed my love to her, she told me that she was already with child. You see, my entire life, Miss Marple, from the first grade, her name was Ellen. I told Ellen that I fancied her, and she threw her milk in my face. In the second grade, it was Joanne. I told Joanne that I had feelings for her, and her friends just laughed and mocked me. In the third grade, it was Jennifer. She said she hasn't even reached puberty yet. You see, my entire life, up until this point, it's been one after another. The list grows shorter and shorter. And then I finally found a woman older than me, yes, of course, but I figured instead of going for my own age, I would go for someone more mature, someone who could see the true me, someone who could look beyond the superficialities of a man.
And she rebuffed you.
And she rebuffed me.
You're angry at her, and so you're casting stone and suspicion in her direction. It didn't work out with her daughter either. You ask me how I know these things. Ask me how
do you know these things? How?
My dear, we have a knitting circle. And in our knitting circle, all the women come together and we share what we know and what we hear. And they come and they tell me, well, because I have such a reputation of being able to just solve murders, and so any bit of information might be important. And when I caught wind of this, my trusted soldier, well, colour me shocked.
Yes, well, I apologize for keeping such secrets from you, Miss Marple, but it is not something that I am proud of.
You must never keep such secrets from me again.
I keep my word, I shall not.
Inspector, it's an odd case, this one it is. What do you say?
How dare you, Morris?
Inspector, what are you saying? Why, I'm simply asking for a discussion on the case to see if we might be able to bring it a little bit closer.
I know what you're after, Morris.
All right, you're a petty little prig and I want your job.
Will you have it then? Or didn't you hear? Not 5 minutes ago, apparently I've been fired.
Have you?
With talks of you to replace me.
Oh, sorry. Constable Knickerbocker. Oh, he invited me over here to console him. For, you know, we go way back.
Well, yes, I know. But, as it turns out, it seems like there won't be much reason for you to investigate crimes.
Investigate crimes? What's allegations? I am just his dear friend. I'm like an aunt to him. I'm here to provide comfort.
Fair enough.
Don't listen to me, young man. You have been sniffing around here, trying to take his job. That is very unkind.
Well, it's about
and very ungentlemanly. Now you sit there.
Dear, you can't assault a police officer.
What is he going to do, arrest me? A woman his grandmother's age? Don't say a word. Now leave us alone right now. Dad, keep going.
Jane, I've been fired.
But, my dear, the case has been solved. I know who it is.
Why do I care anymore?
Listen to me. We can arrange it so that you arrest the culprit.
But you did it.
It doesn't matter. Look at me. We are a team. We work together. We bounce ideas off each other. And this only works together.
Jade, I feel like you should be the detective inspector. Here, take my inspecting glasses.
Stand up and be a man. Now look at me. You're my godson. Make me proud. Now you go out there and you arrest the person that I point the finger at.
Okay.
Now we shall walk over together. Come now. And so we made our way over to the hive household where we came upon the gardener, Henry. Now we must do this alone. No one can see us. So you are the one to arrest him. Henry!
Oh, Miss Marple.
Hello!
Well, I wasn't expecting to see
Shall I
you here.
call you Narcissus?
I don't know what that means.
Narcissus was someone who loved his reflection so much. And you, my dear, always ready to show your body, well, you're a Narcissus.
Very well.
In my experience, those who are narcissists will go to no end to prove that they could get away with anything, including murder. It wasn't about the inheritance, was it? It wasn't about any of that. You don't care about the money. You just wanted the fame. You wanted the fame for yourself, knowing that you could get away with it.
All right.
Your vanity.
You got me. This world needs more of this face. That's why I went around town trying to impregnate every woman so that I may grace St. Mary's Mead with this visage.
Your vanity knows no end. It's so great that you would murder for it.
I may be a lowly gardener, but damn it if I'm not sexy.
He's admitted it.
But I needed that child that looked like me, had my eyes most assuredly in my home, to be raised by me, surely to be the greatest father this world has ever known. And when that wretched woman wouldn't give me my child, well, I plotted to
take hers.
That's right. I wanted to sour her so much on the idea of motherhood that I murdered her children. And when her fiancé started to get wise, well, I murdered him too. You saw through my ruse. I am not phobic of water. Why, I swam the English Channel with Matthew. I caroused around the French countryside with those boys, making Eiffel Towers left and right.
I've heard quite enough. Morris, can you please join us? I know you standing with your ear to the door. Jane, I've just realized something, and I know you've just cracked the case, but before this, I was trying to solve a marigold case.
Yes?
There was illegal marigolds being smuggled throughout, and I just put two and two together. It was this man and this man.
All right, I did it! That's right. Inspector, if you'll check his left breast pocket, marigold.
But I didn't do it alone. In fact, it was him who sucked me into the dastardly affair. And if I rot in jail, you'll rot right next to me.
Well, Morris, I think you'll rot in jail. He'll probably swing from the gallows, no?
Take them away! At least leave the hood off for the sake of the crowd.
All right, you.
Jane, we did it!
We did it!
You did it, and I did it. I solved the case, you solved, we did it. I think I can get my job back.
I'm certain you can get your job back. I mean, what would St. Mary Mead do without you and me? Since there's so much murder here.
Jane, thank you so much. I've regained my confidence, all thanks to you, and I think I'm surefire to get my job back. I simply have one more question.
Yes.
You see,
one of my officers, she's missing an arm. And she said that it had something to do with you, and that's been troubling me this whole time. I was wondering if you could explain what you had to do with that woman's arm being severed.
It was a knitting accident. Yes, I was knitting and I coughed so hard that one of my knitting needles flew and it punctured her in the artery and she lost so much blood that they had to chop her arm off. Horrid affair. I'm sad you brought it up.
I think that you two should make up.
Oh, she here.
Hey, I brought you a gift.
Cunningham, right in here, thank you.
Let's do like we used to do. You take one, and I'll take the other.
Oh, then you forgive me.
I do.
Oh.
Let bygones be bygones.
Oh, thank you. So much.
Oh, you're still a lousy knitter, aren't you?
I am.
Oh, well.
Thank you.
Please, Beatrice.
Felicia,
Oh, please come in. Oh,
thank you.
I'm
I'm so glad we've mended our ways.
I know.
Lily, you'll have to godmother both our children. We don't want them to be subject to their nasty father.
I have to tell you both something.
What is it, dear?
Well, you see, I had Henry come over, and he cleaned my pond, and I'm pregnant.
Well, I did want to invite you all over here because I thought perhaps we could eat crow.
Delicious. And with that, my friends, the three ladies, very months later, gave birth to Narcissus' child. But they never let him see it. And so, everyone lived happily ever after. The end.